Viewers, let's talk about the glory of breaking the law tonight. Should we roll out the red carpet for those individuals who brought a bad name to India? Think about it. Perhaps we should throw a parade in their honor. Why not? Celebrating their ingenuity in bypassing international law and illegally crossing many borders to reach their dream destination. Viewers, because you see, being sent back in a military plane is just too harsh for those who decided to skip the line and enter another country illegally. I mean, why not send them back on a business class ticket? Viewers, breaking the law should come with perks like complimentary champagne and a comfy seat. What was Donald Trump thinking by deploying a military plane here? He should know that lawbreakers deserve luxury travel, at the very least. Viewers, the opposition's dramatic outrage seems less about human rights and more about political mileage. It's fascinating how they've forgotten all about the rights of those they jailed for mere cartoons or social media posts when they were in power. But now they are all about defending the dignity of illegal immigrants. So let me get this straight, viewers. Should we celebrate lawlessness? That's the question. When did we decide that those who flout immigration laws should be seen as heroes rather than individuals who made a choice to disregard legal processes? Viewers, for the opposition, it's not about upholding the law. It's about playing politics with human lives. The opposition seems to be of the opinion, and listen to me carefully, they are of the opinion that lawlessness can be defended, justified, glorified if it paints the Modi government in a bad light. Defending or glorifying illegal acts isn't a sign of compassion, viewers. It's a sign of confusion about what governance and responsibility truly mean. Viewers, the deportation of illegal Indian immigrants from the US has stirred a political storm, to say the least. But this hue and cry from the opposition misses the forest for the trees and obfuscates a fundamental principle of governance and national integrity, which is the rule of law. There can be no defense of lawlessness. This is not a statement of callousness, viewers, but one of clarity. When individuals choose to break laws, they are inviting the chains of justice.
Honorable members would be aware that the process of deportation is not a new one. I repeat, not a new one, and has been ongoing for several years. 2009, number of deportees 734. 2010, 799. 2011, 597. 2012, 530. The standard operating procedure for deportation by aircraft used by ICE, that is effective from 2012. I repeat, that is effective from 2012, provides for the use of restraints. However, we have been informed by ICE that women and children are not restrained. We are, of course, engaging the US government to ensure that the returning deportees are not mistreated in any manner during the flight. At the same time, the House will appreciate that our focus should be on strong crackdown on the illegal migration industry, while taking steps to ease visas for the legitimate traveler.
अब विश्व गुरु और विश्व गुरु बनने का रास्ता क्या है? ऐसा ही होगा विश्व गुरु बनने का रास्ता कि आपके भारतीय लोगों को हथकड़ी लगा करके भेजा जाएगा भारत।
बहुत बातें की गई कि मोदी जी, ट्रंप जी बहुत अच्छे मित्र हैं और मोदी जी ने ऐसे क्यों होने दिया? क्या हम अपना जहाज नहीं भेज सकते थे उनको लेने के लिए? इस तरह से क्या इंसानों के साथ बर्ताव किया जाता है कि उनको हथकड़ियां पहना के, बेड़ियां पहना के भेजा यहाँ पे?
It is very shameful, and to see that Indians are being treated badly, and the 56-inch chest Prime Minister is keeping mum when Indians are being chained and treated like criminals in the flights and border when they are in their boat.
The world has seen that what is the position of Vishwaguru, World Guru, self-proclaimed by Modi, that his citizens, meaning Indian citizens, are driven out by America like animals.
Now, you heard the reactions. Let's quickly open this up. Shazia Ilmi, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Karan Verma, political analyst. Sushil Pandit on the show. A. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK back on India Upfront. Lokesh Jindal and Professor Monojit Mondal complete the panel. Lokesh Jindal, what should we do with the illegals who are in India? Will the Congress party book them on a chartered plane or at the very least give them business class tickets?
Yes, good evening, everybody. The Declaration of the Rights of the Expelled and Deported Person states that people should be treated with respect and dignity during deportation. The point, Pranesh, is it's not deportation that is objectionable. The manner in which these people were chained, handcuffed, and a military aircraft transported them back to India as if these were the people carrying out some form of espionage. These were the people indulging in some form of anti-state activity. And it raised a lot of questions.
No, what were they indulging in? No, what were they indulging in? Please clarify the viewers. Why did they go there?
Now,
how did they go there?
Pranesh, if an individual who has expired his term of employment in a foreign country, even that person becomes an illegal migrant. Why aren't you getting the point?
No, I'm getting it. But when you, no. If you overstay, when you know that, this is the term of your visa, whatever, then you should come back. Are you waiting for the government there to act?
Pranesh, first and the foremost, the US government has not clarified on what charges these were handcuffed, because there's a US Supreme Court ruling which stated that even illegal immigrants, they enjoy the right to equal protection under 14th Constitutional Amendment Act of US Constitution. So the first and the foremost is,
तो संविधान वहां भी खतरे में है, यही बोल रहे हैं ना आपकी जय संविधान यहाँ पे भी है, वहां पे भी संविधान खतरे में है.
No, Pranesh, as an Indian, I am pained to see another Indian in chains.
Lokesh Jindal,
I cannot be a mute spectator.
Lokesh Jindal, when an Indian does something wrong, 1 minute, the Congress party should not, should not shed tears as you've done in the past for people on the wrong side of the law. 1 minute. There are many, there is an ecosystem in this country, Sushil Pandit, that has shed tears for Yaqub Memon Afzal Guru, Burhan Wani, and Mr. Basha more recently.
Yes, Pranesh. Thank you for having me on the show. Good evening to my fellow panelists and your viewers. Those who have made a living out of creating vote banks from illegal migrants into India seem to have turned this into some kind of a principle, a higher concept to live by, no matter where this illegal immigration happens, wherever in the world, irrespective of which laws do they violate, what kind of crime is committed in the process. While some people might feel that seeing an Indian in chains is painful, I can understand their emotion. I would say that an Indian committing a crime, whether on my soil or abroad, in fact, more so abroad, would make me hang my head in shame. This is the embarrassment that as a nation we collectively feel, that a bunch of Indians have been found illegally residing in the United States of America, found out and dispatched so ignominiously. It should be a lesson to all those who hop, skip, and jump the law in order to be abroad, and there are n number of them today in Europe, in Americas, or wherever else. These are not only people who bring shame to the country, they also create a bad example. for the rest to follow. And we are ourselves suffering from the menace. This is an epidemic in India. A Congress Minister of Home for State, Mr. Jaiswal, Shashi Prakash Jaiswal, or was it the same name? He mentioned about 20 years ago in the parliament that there are no less than 30 million Ghuspaitias, illegal immigrants in this country, and did nothing about it. The point is, we should actually be doing the same to the illegal immigrants in India. Those who are in violation of our laws, just as America has turned this into an example for the rest of the world to follow. We should all be law-abiding citizens, and we should respect our laws and the laws that rest of the countries follow in their land. And there can be no exception to this. And just to cite an unfortunate example of someone who's overstayed his employment visa, I'm afraid there won't be even a minuscule fraction of such people deported yesterday. It is unnecessarily trying to curry some kind of sympathy for most of those who have jumped the law, who have reached there illegally in order to get some economic gain.
Which is why, Mr. Pandit, I said in the beginning that anything that suits the narrative to paint the Modi government in bad light, they will do. Mr. Shazia Almi, I'll come to you. Let me quickly bring in Mr. Sarvanan. Mr. Sarvanan, you know, in 2012, 2013 in Tamil Nadu, 23,000 people who were protesting against the Kudankulam nuclear power plant were booked with sedition charges. 23,000 people, sir. Yeah, human rights. You know what happened to this thought about human rights?
Yeah. See, I'm not surprised by the stand you are taking. I don't know whether I should be disappointed by what Mr. Jaishankar spoke in the Rajya Sabha today or the narrative you are trying to set today. The only issue that is being raised is this. How can you treat someone, whoever they may be accused of crimes, they maybe have been a criminal, but how do you treat them? That is the most important thing. Don't you have dignity? Don't you have any consideration for humaneness? That is what we are asking. And when a nation violates that, rubs it in your nose, you, for collateral considerations, don't raise your voice. You are asking your Radio Rwanda people to set a narrative that who are these people? These are that people, those are that people. That is why they are sent back. Take action, put them in jail. But can you humiliate them like this? This is a violation of a human right. That is what we are talking about. We are not bothered about your narrative. What you are trying to set here, that is not the issue. The issue is not that, whether the deportation is legal or illegal. The question is how they were treated. Everybody is entitled for human dignity.
I agree, sir. You know, you are at least, you know, Mr. Sarvanan, I have to give it to you.
Just a minute.
You want dignity for everyone. Yeah. No, I'm not interrupting you. I am only adding one point before I, bring in Shazia Ilmi. When S.A. Basha, the mastermind of the 1998 Coimbatore serial blast and founder of the Islamist group Al-Ummah, when he died, the state had sent 2,000 police personnel and 200 rapid action force personnel. They were deployed ahead of the funeral procession. You see, this is the magnanimity of the Congress DMK government. Shazia Ilmi, why are you not learning a lesson or two? Mr. Sarvana, I'm coming to you. Let's get a response. I'm coming to you again, sir. We've just begun. Okay, let him answer first. Shazia, I'm sorry. Let Mr. Sarvanan finish his point.
Yeah. How was the terrorist escorted from India during the Kandahar hijack? How were they escorted? What will the BJP answer? Will the BJP spokesperson answer?
There you go, the hypocrisy.
Will you answer?
Sir.
You ask me a question. I am asking you.
Why were they escorted? In exchange of Indians who were there. We should have allowed the Indians to die. What did the Basha funeral benefit? Social harmony.
Terrorist.
What did it benefit? Shazia Ilmi.
Pranesh, I don't think, Mr. Pranesh, so hypocrisy, and I can cite it on various grounds, but let me tell Mr. Sarvanan and others who are very outraged by what has happened, that since 2009 till now, 15 years and more, there have been more than 15,800 illegal immigrants who have been brought in and deported by the US. They are called, here we call them infiltrators and Ghuspetias, which has become a vote bank. And we know that, which is why I feel bad and the empathy Manojit Mandal feels towards him. But let me tell you, 2009, whose government was it, Mr. Sarvanan? Whose government was it? 734 Indians were deported from the US. 2010, 799, almost 800. 2011, how many? 597, almost 600. 2012, 530. 2013, 550. 2014, 591, almost 600 again. And then, of course, 2014 till now. So I want to ask you, they were brought in exactly the same way. The jurisdiction of the home government prevails, which has to be the US. The SOP is restraints, which you call cuffs also, because they're traveling, they don't want any trouble. But if they were to eat or use the restrooms, they would be unshackled or unrestrained. And that is the SOP which has been followed, which is a foreign policy, stated foreign policy, which is exactly what they do with not just Indians, but Mexicans, Colombians, and others. Those taking a longer flight will obviously be restrained because they do not want any incident to happen during flight, but they are treated humanely. But they are brought back because it's illegal. So you are okay with all the infiltrators coming to India. You're happy to nurture them. They become your vote bank politics, making sure that people like Mamata Banerjee keep winning again and again. But when it comes to US deporting Indians, as has been doing forever and much more during the rule of Manmohan Singh or Sonia Gandhi, the only difference between de facto and de jure as to who was running it,
right,
you have a problem. Now, this is hypocrisy on so many levels because clearly you don't know much about it. And a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So before you speak on a subject and express this outrage, please read history. Please understand the foreign policies of different countries.
Professor Mondal, what's wrong in following the law?
And apologize now that you have spoken too loud, too soon. Too loud.
Okay, can I speak?
Soon.
Yeah, Mr. Sarvanan, I'm coming to you. Let Professor Mondal come in, then I'll come to you,
Can
sir.
I even speak?
Yes, sir, please.
No. I mean, you could not bring one of the greatest financial criminals living in London with how many of his girlfriends you never know, Vijay Mallya, Mehul Choksky and other. Are they fugitive criminals? Why are they having this kind of luxury in London, one of the civilized countries in the world? And here the people who might have overstayed, we do not know. Look how they have been brought in. They've been brought in like animals, including the children. 13 children were there, including a four-year infant. What are you talking about? And this is the narrative from the BJP stooges and supporters who talk about the human rights of the Kashmiris or Pandits in Kashmir. This is the kind of language that he used. These are Indians, these are our friends. Even if they have overstayed, even if they might have overstayed, they should have been, their human rights should have been protected.
Right.
Look at what the Colombian president had done.
Even if they overstayed, even if they did something wrong, they should have, been granted. Because you see, you want the India model in US. Do what you want. The state will not come after you, because if you have an Aadhaar card, if you have the documents, you become the vote bank. We will not touch you. Mr. Pandit, you touched on this in the beginning, but Karan, I want you to expose the double speak of this so-called human rights ecosystem. We are all for human rights, but it can't be at the cost of rule of law.
And what's more obnoxious, Pranesh, is they've mixed it with a pseudo sense of national pride. Their national pride is not hurt when Rahul Gandhi goes to US and says democracy is dead in India. It's a big question whether Sikhs will be allowed to wear turban in India. At that time, their national pride is not hurt. But their national pride is linked with illegals who've broken the law. They are illegals, Pranesh, for crying out loud. And you know, Pranesh, it's not their compassion for them. You know what's giving them nightmares? What's giving them nightmares is, what if we apply the same law and we start getting rid of the illegal immigrants here in India? Because that's their vote bank. And when you spoke of hypocrisy, let me start with Mamata Banerjee. In 2005, she thundered in the parliament, Pranesh, you can look back at the records. And she said these illegals need to be thrown out. They are a part of our voting list and they are a menace to the society. And what happens in 2017? When in the Supreme Court, the government of the day declares they are a national security threat, Mamata on 15th February 2017 says, I am concerned about them. I am deeply worried. Let's be compassionate towards them. This is their doublespeak. What did Shashi Tharoor? Shashi Tharoor today said, oh, our national pride is hurt. What did Shashi Tharoor say in his book Pax Indica in 2012? Pranesh, he's pretty much compared illegals to termites who've sneaked into the woodwork. And he said there are 20 million who've sneaked into the woodwork. That's the language they used when it was convenient for them. And now, when the shoe fits on the other side, they want this to be secured as their vote banks. And there's so many examples. Mohinder Goyal of Aam Aadmi Party, Jai Bhagwan, they've written letters and have now been served notices by the Delhi police where they want to enroll these Rohingyas into their voter list. Fake ID cards, fake voter cards. This is the level to which they've stooped. But they have to understand, India of today doesn't stand with illegals. We are not hypocrites. Our national pride lies in following the rule and law. So yes, these illegals have to come back, and we should also have a spine and send these illegals packing. There are more than 2 million of which, by Congress's own accounts, Shri Prakash Jaiswal, Shashi Tharoor, we need to start applying the same principle, because a country without borders is not a country. We need to follow the law, and that is what true patriotism and nationalism is all about.
You know, such is the level of politics on this, Mr. Sarvanan. You'll be, surprised to know, not actually. There are politicians in Punjab who've felicitated some of these people who've been sent back. Can you believe it, sir?
The ordeal they have undergone. What's wrong? The ordeal they have undergone. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is, the one nobody is talking about is this. Why did they go there? Because they don't have any opportunities here. And what has the government done to break this criminal nexus to these groups, these agents who are trekking? What has the government done? Have they arrested anybody?
Mr. Sarvanan.
So many people are deported here.
Mr.
It
Sarvanan,
shows the intent of the government. Yes.
Sir, I knew that, this kind of logic would come up in the debate, but I didn't expect you to say this. Why did they go there? Why did Afzal Guru, do what he did? Why did, Yaqub Memon participate in the conspiracy? Why did Basha, why did Basha kill innocents? Why did, sir, 1 minute, extend this logic and ask this question? And you will have trouble explaining this logic. Sir, will you go to the family member of that girl who was raped by 3 school teachers and ask this same question? Will you do it? You will not. How dare you glorify an illegal act? Mr. Pandit, what have we, come down to?
Yes, this is a worthy lawyer on your panel spouting this rationalization, and you have a professor on your panel who equates these illegals with unfortunate Indians thrown out of Kashmir as a part of genocide. Can you imagine the equivalence created here? If I agitate for the rights of those citizens, honorable Indian citizens thrown out of their homes and lands through violence, through jihad, and say, if you are championing for their cause, why don't you equally support illegals, Indian illegals in foreign lands? Can you see the equivalence? And this is coming from a professor. I don't know what he teaches his class, but this is the level of rationalization of poor intellect and absolute abhorrent kind of reasoning in order to support crime, in order to support illegality, not just in India, but abroad as well. And this cannot be permitted. In fact, India should be resolute about it. This namby-pamby objection on the basis of so-called human rights. Only criminals have human rights. Victims have no human rights. We champion the cause of victims. Have they ever spoken about victims? Any of these professors and lawyers on your shows? Never, except paying some lip service once in a while. And now they dare create a moral equivalence between criminals in US and
No, according to Monojit Mondal, till we are able to bring back Vijay Mallya, the court should be shut. The police should be asked to stop all operations. छुट्टी पे भेज दीजिए उनको. You know, Lokesh, cartoonist Asim Trivedi was arrested on sedition charges for mocking the constitution. Then you have Ambikesh Mahapatra, the Kolkata professor, who made a cartoon on Mamta Banerjee, thrown in jail. There are others. You know, some of them were mentioned by the Prime Minister while he was talking about how Congress stifled free speech. इनके लिए आपने कुछ नहीं बोला. They didn't have human rights, or it didn't occur to you then?
Pranesh, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights upholds human dignity. Even if an individual breaks a law and he or she is put under trial and a due process of law is brought into effect, the individual during the entire process has to be upheld, his dignity has to be upheld. An individual's dignity is held sacrosanct as per
let's do a parade. Rahul Gandhi did not turn up for the Republic Day parade. Let's do a parade for these people and let Rahul Gandhi and the others receive a salute from these people who brought a bad name to our country. Lokesh Jindal, aap bhi chale jayega as guest of honor there.
Pranesh, what if these people had been cheated by a local agent? What if these people had been duped into? What if these people have undergone some medical emergency?
Ignorance is law is no defense. Mr. Jindal, Mr. Jindal, sir, I have high regards for you. Lokesh, don't do this, please. Don't do this. Ignorance of law is no defense. They were cheated. They spent more money. You know, they could have used this money to set up businesses here. And then Mr. Sarvanan says, why did they go there? Why did they go there? Why do criminals do what they do? Why? Before you take action against anyone, ask them, why did you do this? And then you will have all kinds of answers. Mr. Sarvanan?
Yeah. See, again, you are not willing to address, none of the panelists is not willing to address the human rights violation. Whoever says to give a go-by to human rights is a barbarian. Whoever that may be, whoever is advocating to give a go-by is a barbarian. I repeat it. So we are here on the limited aspect of the human rights. Why the Indian government is silent on this? So much of violation had taken place.
No, let's talk about human rights, Mr. Sarvanan.
This happened in 2010.
1 minute. How do you, so do you want a Basha-like funeral? Do you like a Basha-like funeral for these people? I mean, a parade for these people? You want that? Should the state sponsor an event like that, a red carpet event?
Asking them, they should be treated with dignity. If you look at
they were treated with dignity. Imagine if they were locked up in jails there and tortured.
No, they were not. You read.
If sending back,
you are being so ignorant.
Mr. Sarvanan, how did these people reach? Do you know how did Mr. Sarvanan, tell me something. Don't lose your cool, sir. 1 minute. Sir, please listen to me. Mr. Sarvanan, Mr. Sarvanan, I enjoy my conversations with you. 1 minute. Just answer one simple question. I'm all for human rights. Just answer one question. How did these people go there? How did they reach? Do you know?
Yeah, I will cite one incident which has happened in a newspaper which is not Rwanda Radio. What they say is, we were promised legal immigration. We paid so much of money. We never thought we will be transported like this. We will be allowed to take a donkey route. Please read their accounts. Read their audience.
Okay. Let me ask you 1 minute. Answer one question from Rwanda Radio. Mr. Sarvanan, here's a direct question from Rwanda Radio.
Tell me.
I'm asking you a question. What will you tell the victims of terrorist Basha? What about that human rights, sir? How will you answer the family members who lost their lives?
See, the issue is, that's what the question is this. The question now, what we are dealing is, the issue we are dealing is the human rights violation and the mute India led by a Vishwaguru, India, which is a $5 trillion economy, India, which is the fastest growing economy,
Yes,
why
sir.
the government is a mute spectator to so much of human rights violation?
Now listen to this, sir.
That is
Listen
the question.
to this, and
Is
viewers,
anybody
please
willing
watch
to
your
answer that?
screen. When Modi diplomacy has saved lives. Qatar 2023, 8 former Indian naval officers were on death row. PM met the emir there. Death sentence was commuted. 2023 Sudan, Operation Kaveri evacuated around 4,000 Indians. Ukraine-Russia war 2022, we know what happened. Operation Ganga evacuated over 22,000 Indians. Afghanistan coup 2021, 700 people were brought back as part of Operation Devi Shakti. Then in 2015, Yemen civil war had broken out. Operation Rahat rescued over 5,000 Indians. This is Vishwaguru. But that does not mean that the state holds a brief, and by state I mean the Indian government, holds a brief for those who are indulging in illegal activities. Mr. Pandit, how difficult is this to understand?
See, you can't explain this to those who are blinded by their hate towards the present political dispensation, towards a political leader or a government. There is no rationale, there is no reasoning, there is no logic that can work with them. They have to seize an opportunity. Now, somebody was talking about Malaya not being brought back. What about Kwataroki? What about Anderson of Union Carbine? How they were sped off and never even sought. We know how tricky the extradition proceedings abroad are. This is not our jurisdiction. We don't control it. But look at the efforts we are making to get them here compared to how you collaborated, colluded in speeding them off. That is the contrast.
How did the Congress government see off Warren Anderson? Karan, why don't you rejog the memory of our viewers? This is the kind of treatment that they expect. Chartered flight.
No, absolutely. Absolutely, Pranesh. And that is what is actually letting the countrymen down. When we talk about national pride, national dignity, we've had the episode of Anderson. We've also, I want to point out here, when we talk about the Congress party and its relationship with illegal immigrants and infiltrators, they've been on record, you'll remember, during the Jharkhand elections, where Ghulam Ahmad Mir, the head of AICC Jharkhand, he said, we will give gas cylinders to illegal immigrants. That is the kind of love and patronization they've had. And, for our friend from DMK, who has been today, it's very rich coming from him, human dignity, human rights. We've seen calls for Brahmins being driven out from the state under DMK just as recently as last 2 years. And at that time, his heart didn't take out for fellow Indians. When they called Sanatan Dharm dengue, malaria, at that time when they dehumanized an entire faith, that time his heart doesn't ache. That time he doesn't feel tears for dignity, for human values. So this hypocrisy, Pranesh, has been
Let's
called
get
out
a response.
loud.
I think
Neither
Mr.
do they have
Saravanan
love
wants
for
to
the
answer.
country.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I don't know why this gentleman is spreading fake news that the people are going away from the state of Tamil Nadu. People who are going away from the state of Tamil Nadu, especially the upper caste Hindus, are doing so to enhance their life, to enhance their status. They were not driven away, and that is a big lie, that is fake news, and that is what we can expect from anybody who is speaking on behalf of the BJP. Only fake news and nothing else.
Radio
And
Rwanda, Radio
we are
Rwanda.
here for human dignity. We are here for equality. Yes, Radio Rwanda. That's what you are running. That is the propaganda channel. There is a fight. Who is the best Radio Rwanda here? That is the whole problem.
Who do you think, sir, takes that cup?
Let us not forget. Let us not go there. How? We don't know. Probably it's between CNN News 18, India Today, and Times Now.
No, Mr.
Probably
Saravanan, because you're gracing our channel, I would like to believe that we are the best. Shazia Ilmi, when the opposition leaders ask you this, why did they go there? How will the government explain? Because I can't. मेरे पास जवाब ही नहीं है.
So, well, did you see in the course of this debate and discussion how the goalposts kept changing? Once when Sushilji got in and told them the difference between, Indians being driven out of their home state because of fear and violence and what he called jihad. Similarly, when I narrated figures as to how many Indians have been deported by US authorities in a similar manner year after year, more so during Manmohan Ji's time, they were quiet. So now, and then Karan gave various numbers and figures about the Bangladeshi infiltrators and how they've been a convenient vote bank plank for these parties. Now you just see them all over the place. I want to tell them, you know, you make fun of India and what Indian power and Indian passport means, but do you know how the Qatari court released ex-Navy men who had been charged with very serious charges and were on the death row were actually released, which is a huge, to get people out of the clutches of a death row from Qatar, and that was purely
and by the way, viewers, I just want to place it on record. There are many in the opposition who are claiming that the NDA did not ensure human treatment. The fact is, and this is a fact check for all those who are peddling this, deportees paid for their expatriation under the UPA. This is a fact. They were made to pay. Can you believe it? If you don't, you know, you can call us Radio Rwanda like Mr. Sarvanan does. But I thank some of you. No hard feelings, Mr. Sarvanan. It's always great to have you here on Radio Rwanda. You know, let's quickly move on, viewers.